Contraflow Left interchange. I'm going to show you how to build it in City Skylines 2. This is another free-flowing traffic interchange, so it will be perfect for high traffic, highway to highway traffic transfers. This will absolutely keep up with the turbine interchange, for example, in my previous video. Although the turbine might look complicated to make, it's actually quite an easy build. Check it out if you've not already seen it. This one, however, took me quite a long time to get right. But the good news is you guys don't have to go through all of that, just follow the guide and you'll end up with this. Let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and clear all of this away. Make sure that you have a perfectly straight highway running through the middle. Use the parallel road tool, use a gap of 2. We're going to draw out guidelines for our ramps. Pull out a small road at 90 degrees from the highway. We're then going to go out at a 90-degree angle again at 3 points along this road. We need a road running parallel to the highway at 25 meters, 100 meters, and 200 meters. We're going to use these little road markers to help us get a symmetric build for our ramps. So quite an important little step, and you just repeat the same process on the other side. Create a small road parallel to the highway along the 25 meter marker. At the right angle, create a road and create a node at every marker point and on both sides of the road. We need to make sure we're not creating any pillars that will get in the way of our ramps. Delete the little marker road that's attached and we'll move on to the next bridge. We need 6 of these. Everything on these frames should be at a height of 15 meters. Couldn't find a way of spacing all the bridges to the gap I wanted with the tools, so you will need to eyeball this and use your own judgment. It can be done quite easily, but you might need to build those and rebuild a few times just to make sure that the gaps are exactly the same length. If you have a shadow there, I've used the shadow here on the build, to get these consistent lengths, but do whatever you need to do. But it's down to you guys really. You need to eyeball this one and you need to make sure that you've got the gap that I'm showing you here best you can, okay? So take your time on this one, make sure you have those consistent gaps as I'm showing you here. So go ahead, make all 6 bridges with the same method and the same snapping points. And connect all 6 roads at each of the marker points as I'm showing you here. Onto the ramps. Delete the middle section from the 4th row from the top. Pull the road in from the main frame as I'm showing you here and find the snapping point. Raise the highway up to a height of 22.5 meters. Go ahead and delete the middle section from the row above, and we're going to repeat the same process from the other side. Pull in the frame, raise to 22.5. Let's have a look now. This is what you guys should have by now. We'll start on the first of the ramps to the ground level now. So delete the middle section from the 2nd bottom row. Same idea as the last ones we just did, but we're going to decrease the height to 7.5 meters. Again, you can clearly see where you need to snap in and create the ramp at the right place. Repeat the process from the other side on the row 2nd from the top. Again, bring it in from the frame and bring it down to a height of 7.5. We're going to bring these lower ramps down to ground level now. We're going to create a quarter circle with a radius of 45 meters. Use the curve road tool, bring down to a height of 0 meters, pull out 45, drag out at a 90-degree angle, pulling out another 45 meters. You will need to have to snap to existing geometry to snap onto the ramp. When you're pulling it through, you will need to untick that, okay? If you don't untick it, it will try and snap onto the bridge above. Okay, so important step there, guys. Do exactly the same on the other side. Again, don't forget to use existing geometry to snap to the ramp, and then turn it off when creating the curve. Onto the overpass now. We're going to create a quarter circle here again. Use the same measurements of 45 degrees, and we're going to keep the height at 22.5. Use the same tip as earlier with the existing geometry, turning it on and off as required. Repeat the process for the other over ramp, exactly the same. I realised I had these markers a little close, so I'm just going to extend it and delete sections so I can get the big ramp down on the ground. I'm going to give some exact measurements now to get this looking good. We're going to use the complex curve tool here. Pull straight down at a 180 degree angle, 45 meters, and pull along the 25 meter marker at 135 degrees. Of another 100 meters and reduce the height to 7.5. Flip over and repeat the same process on the side. So again, straight down at 180 degrees, 45 meters. Pull over to the 25 marker, drag along 135 degrees. Left click once you hit that 135 degree mark and pull it along that 25 meter marker line. 100 meters and reduce the height down to 7.5. Okay, so let's have a look at what we have now. We can delete these markers, we don't need them anymore. We can now go ahead and delete the outer middle rows in the frame, we're not going to need these. Let's bring the big ramps in now. So straight out 50 meters, reduce the height to 0. And use another 50 meters length and just snap onto the highway as I'm showing you. We're going to upgrade the small section of the ramp to 2-lane highway, so make sure snapping's on so you'll have the spare lane on the outside. Just use the same measurements on the other side so you have some symmetry, and don't forget to upgrade the small section of the ramp to 2-lane. To help with the traffic flow, I'm going to upgrade a couple of sections of highway first to 4-lane, then down to 3-lane. Again, make sure you have snapping on so you can dictate what side the extra lanes will be on, okay? And do the same on both sides. We're going to bring the highway in now, extend the road out at the corner a length of 100 meters. We'll do this on all 4 corners. Use the replace tool and upgrade these to 3-lane highway. Snapping on again and make sure the middle lanes are lined up with the single lane that leads into it. Do it for all 4 sections. Make sure traffic flow directions are all correct. If you're building along, I'd recommend saving the game just now if you've not already done so. Now the reason I want you to save is that we're going to go ahead and start deleting stuff here. I just want to make sure that you have a save game before we do it. It's a little bit difficult to draw some stuff back in if you delete it, okay? So just go ahead, delete everything as I'm showing you here. We'll get rid of some of these frames and we're going to delete the first section of the overpass ramp. From the left snapping point on the corner here, we're going to use that complex curve tool again. So pull out 20 degrees, left click on the first snapping point that I'm showing you here, or guideline point. Pull straight out further until you hit the ramp snapping point. Left click again, and making sure we've raised the height of the section, snap into the end of the high ramp. Same again on the other side. Get rid of the road guides and the first section of the high ramp. Pull to the first guideline at 20 degrees, left click, pull straight out until you hit the ramp guideline, left click, and then attach it to the end of the ramp. Again, bringing up the height accordingly. These ramps are looking really good now. If you're building along and it's looking like this, well done. Good job, guys. Time to connect the lower ramps. So delete this little section, go straight out 50, and use the curve road tool to connect to the outside of the 3-lane road. Repeat on the other side. Onto the outside ramps. Take it out from the little 2-lane section, use a 10-degree angle, bring the height up to the same height as the highway, 50 meters. Just before you hit the bridge, left click and drag the section and snap onto the outside lane of the 3-lane highway. Adjust the traffic direction if you need to, and then go and repeat the process on the other side. With the on-ramps, pull out from the outside of the 3-lane highway as tight as an angle as you can. Once you hit the guideline, click left and drag into your desired point on the highway. We want that coming in at the same point as the ramp on the other side. Total length of that curve should be approximately 360 meters. Adjust the traffic direction and upgrade the highway to a 3-lane to get a slip lane. If you end up with a janky curve, just delete it and draw it back in. As a quick tip to prevent that happening, upgrade the highway first and then draw the curve from that. It will usually work a little bit better than this. Okay? Flip it over, do the same on the other side. We have the ground level ramp to connect now, so snap on with the curved road tool, pull it straight out 180 degrees at 50 meters length, left click and drag it along the side of the highway. When you find this snapping point, left click to connect to the ramp, to the highway. There's no need for a slip road here, the traffic doesn't slow down at that angle, so we're good to go. Flip it over, do it on the other side, so out 50 meters, click, drag down to the highway, find a snapping point, and then connect the road. I'll zoom in and I'll show you all the direction of traffic now. If you want to take a screenshot, it can. This is definitely a more complex, interchange, so it can be pretty confusing. I can attest to that when you're building it. So if you want to take a screenshot, now's your time. Okay, let's get some traffic in and see what this looks like. I'll hook up the highways real quick and we'll give it a little tree detailing. Out of interest, here's a quick comparison size-wise compared to the turbine from the previous video. Certainly looks a little slimmer, so it could be a good option for a more urban area, if space is a bit tight. Yeah, definitely worth consideration. Let me know how you get on in the comments, guys, if you're building along. As I said at the start of this video, this interchange is more than capable of handling very high traffic. It might not be the easiest one to build. In fact, it's definitely not the easiest one to build, but I think it's certainly well worth the effort. So let's check out the final product. And if you've made it this far, drop a like, comment, even a follow. It doesn't cost anything and it can really help get my little channel get discovered. It would be very much appreciated. I really appreciate all you guys watching and getting involved. Thank you all so very much. While you're here, I've got a couple more interchange ideas for you. Feel free to check them out.